I'm Steve Adubato. I want to introduce you to our longtime friend, Dr. Arturo Brito, who is Executive Director of the Nicholson Foundation. Arturo, we are here at Morven for an important event, an important night, historic when it comes to dealing with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. Talk about it.
Well, it is a historic night. We see this as a launch of a new beginning for the state. As we were talking earlier, we have some very important people here, great people here that have come together and address ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, in the state of New Jersey. The truth is that in New Jersey, we need to do a better job of collecting information about ACEs, but we know that at least 1 in 4, and probably a little bit more than that, have experienced at least one ACE in their lifetime, and a number of those have experienced more than one ACE. And what that means is that their lifelong health, both physical and mental health, is impacted. And until we address them, first by preventing the problems, then by protecting people and providing buffering systems and support systems for them when they do experience these adverse experiences, we're not going to make a lot of headway with what we're trying to do with our healthcare systems. So this is why the Nicholson Foundation, the Burke Foundation, and the Turrell Fund have come together to invest in this. And while we're asking others to come along with us for this ride, for this journey, that we really believe this is the launch of something big and something new that's going to make New Jersey put us at the top of the country in how we address healthcare, how we address people's well-being, and it really does start with addressing these experiences.
What Dr. Brito is not saying is that the Nicholson Foundation, together with Turrell, has allowed us at the Caucus Educational Corporation, our partners in public broadcasting, to do a series called Right from the Start NJ. As we're speaking right now, you'll see the website on your screen. Dr. Brito is also a pediatrician, understands this not just because he's the head of a major foundation, but because you understand this clinically, you care deeply about children, and you see the impact.
Right. And it starts with understanding the science. You know, if you really look at it as a clinician and as a scientist, it really is fascinating. And we're going to hear Dr. Nadine Burke here speak later today. And she explains the science better than anybody about how those experiences early on in life in particular impact brain architecture in such a way that for the rest of a person's life, they're more likely to have health issues, not just mental health issues as one might predict or expect, but also what are traditionally called medical issues. They're really all medical issues, but things like heart disease, even some forms of cancer are now, scientists are finding, are connected to these experiences people have early on in life.
Dr. Brito, you talked to us in another interview about toxic stress.
Right.
Are we using different terms to talk about the same thing?
Yeah, they're related, Steve, but they're not exactly the same thing. So when we talked about toxic stress, you know, we're going to have stress in our lives, different kind of stress. And when we talked about it last time, I explained that when a child has stress early on in their life, if they don't have the right support system, right buffering system, that stress could become toxic. And then that's where and some of those stresses we're talking about are these ACEs that have been well studied for now, since 1998 when the original study came out, so really for more than 20 years. And that's the relationship between them. So when we say toxic stress, we mean it could be an adverse childhood experience that was never really addressed, or the child didn't have the right protective mechanisms around him or her.
You know, it's interesting, the Right from the Start NJ initiative that I mentioned, we're focusing on birth to 3, right, even prenatal as well. These ACEs, these childhood experiences, these adverse childhood experiences, they occur during that period as well.
The ACEs can occur during different periods of
a 2-year-old,
a 2-year-old, 1-year-old. But the important thing is, and what we talked about last time, you know, the earlier we can address them, the better off we're going to be.
Define address them.
Well, so for instance, let's say a child has lives in a household where the parents are separated or divorced, and there's a lot of domestic discord or dysfunction in that house. Well, without those parents and that child getting the support system from other relatives or from the community to really understand what that means, then that child is more likely to develop into an adult who has more health issues than the average. A child who has been maltreated, of course, what we want to do, abused or neglected.
Talk about neglected.
Well, neglected children means children that aren't getting the interaction that they need, the stimulations, particularly perinatally, right from infancy, that they need. And that neglect can also, definitely impacts brain architecture in a way that, again, impacts lifelong health. So what we need to do there is make sure that every infant born in the state of New Jersey and every child growing up in the state of New Jersey has the opportunity for the right support systems, the right systems that stimulate their brain for optimal growth, for their mental health growth, as well as their physical growth, and the best likelihood of lifelong health. That's a positive, and the least likelihood of having problems like heart disease and other emotional issues.
So the $2 million, the seed money, the
Right.
Nicholson Foundation and the Burke Foundation, that's going to attract other money, hopefully.
We hope so.
Right?
We
The
hope so.
private money. Is there a role for state government here?
Absolutely, absolutely. We believe that for this to succeed, there has to be this true public-private partnership. And for us, we need the leadership, which we have with the First Lady and Commissioner Beyer, who's the Department of Children and Families Commissioner.
Oh, we'll be talking to her as well tonight.
Yeah, and she comes to the state of New Jersey with vast experience, and I'm sure she'll tell you about this, setting up programs in other states around ACEs and addressing them in states like Wisconsin. And we're learning from those states, but together, through this public-private partnership, we're going to make this New Jersey the #1 state that addresses ACEs in a way that will really help give the best chance for every single child and every single person living in the state of New Jersey.
That's everyone's responsibility, you're right.
Correct.
Dr. Brito, thank you for joining us here at Morven, but also for allowing us to do what we are doing with this initiative right from the start. And JR, the website actually, to fully disclose, our website is underwritten by the Nicholson Foundation. So I want to thank you so much.
And I want to thank you, Steve, and we're proud to partner with you on that. We're so happy with that website. So appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Doctor.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting right from the start NJ, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Wells Fargo, Atlantic Health System, New Jersey Sharing Network, the Russell Berry Foundation, and by Seton Hall University. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.